Hi y'all, that's right, I'm back, actually making another video in a timely manner before my last video is 6 months old. And I know you're probably all thinking, Sam, don't keep us in suspense. Bring on the anthropology. Well, unfortunately we're gonna have to hold off on that for a little bit longer. You see, it turns out, when you want to do videos that are thought-provoking and well-researched, it takes a while to do, especially when we're all stuck in quarantine and time does not feel real anymore. So I do have another script in the works and I'm really excited for what I'm going to be talking about next, but I don't want to lose the momentum of recording and editing by getting bogged down in the script writing process. So instead, let us take a journey. For you see, in the days bygone, before we let the peasants into these so-called museums, the landed male gentry had their curiosity cabinets that would hold their wonders from across the globe. And as you may have noticed, though I be not distinguished or a gentleman, I too have a cabinet of curiosities. So I have decreed that today, instead of trying to educate the masses, I will instead present my own curated cabinet of curiosities. So yeah, this is basically an excuse to show off all my little mementos and knickknacks. Let us begin. Over here we have my little camera, which I should be recording my videos on, but since I have a fancy iPhone 11 now, it's kind of outclassed. Sorry, boo. Still love you. I just can't do the heart because I'm holding the camera with my other hand. And next we have my Art Nouveau painting as a poster. Because yes, I am that type of basic white girl, and also I was living in France when I bought it, and you can't live in France for 6 months and not have French artwork on your walls. It's just a rule of life, basically. And here we have my beloved birthday card, which all of my friends lovingly made for me. And I feel like the two of my friends who are on the outside of the card kind of got the short end of the stick, but I'd love to pick up the card and show you their art as well, but unfortunately this card doesn't stand that great. It takes a couple of tries to get it to stand properly, so I'm kind of afraid to touch it. So apologies to my friends on the outside, but your art is also beautiful and I really appreciate this. But we must go onwards in our journey through these mysteries. And next, we will find a French the llama. This is just a cute little thing that the Vlog Brothers were selling. As you can see, the llama is keeping guard of my old Rocky Horror Picture Show ticket. Here, we have a medal. This is actually metallic. It's like metal wire. And yes, that is an Eiffel Tower. Now you might ask, why do I have a miniature statue of the Eiffel Tower in my room? My high school decided that for our senior prom, our prom theme was going to be a night in Paris. So they had these cutesy little mini Eiffel Towers as table toppers on each of the tables. And for my dorm room, I had decided that I wanted my dorm room theme, because every 18-year-old girl needs a dorm room theme. And for this dorm room theme, I was going to have international travel be my theme, around the world. And so I just decided that I needed this tower. And so I stole it. And getting a great view on the tower is my lovely little Carnival badges that I had to have on me at all times if I wanted to get into events when I was in Quebec City. That's also where this sweet-ass little sword comes from. This is actually sold as a letter opener, And then there's the little postcard that explains what a centre fléché is. Centre fléché, for the Anglos who are watching, which is probably everyone, including me, it just means like arrow belt or arrow sash. And it's really traditional and important aspect of Quebec culture. And at Carnival, they sell them, like this beautiful one I have hanging here. And this is just explaining like the cultural significance of it. And we also have this mysterious rock. Now I'm actually gonna go on Facecam to explain the story of this rock because it has a story. And I love that this is probably the most inconspicuous thing on my shelf, and it probably has like the longest story. So yeah, hashtag storytime, hashtag not clickbait. If you don't know anything about Montreal, there is one thing you must know, and that is there is a grand park in the middle of the city, which is also this big, well, they call it a mountain. Some who actually live around mountains would probably distinguish it as a hill. I'm from the prairies, so I ain't about to get in the middle of that. But yeah, so there's this huge park. So it's this beautiful, delicious park in the middle of the city. And it's supposed to be this great spot to go walking, and in the summertime they do drum circles called the tam-tams and all of this. And so when little old Sam first got to Montreal in the summertime, she decided she was gonna go to Mount Royal by herself, and she was gonna find the tam-tams, and she was gonna have fun at the tam-tams. But unfortunately, the mountain had other plans. For you see, I actually didn't know where I was going. Well, I mean, I kind of knew where I was going. I had Google Maps. Google Maps told me where to go. Google Maps was wrong. My phone died because it had the lifespan of a gerbil at that point. I started to get angry that I was getting lost, and then it started to rain. And in the middle of this series of unfortunate events, what happens to me next, dear viewer? This little inconspicuous rock trips me and makes me skin my knees. And lo and behold, I took this rock within my grasp and decreed that I would not be defeated by this Mount Royal rock, and that I would find my way back, and I would take it with me as a trophy of my victory. So yeah, that's why I have a rock on my shelf. So alas, the next items on our grand tour do not reach the heights of the Victory Rock, but they are curious nonetheless. Next we have Hieroglyphs. This is actually from Blanche Nuit, which is a big festival that Montreal does in the wintertime. Oh God, y'all remember when we had festivals? Y'all remember when we went out and like did things? Well, this is one of the things that I did. I went to an event at the art museum where they were letting people carve out little hieroglyphics. And this is actually supposed to be my name in hieroglyphics. And there is a tiny pewter recreation of Stonehenge that my little brother was kind enough to bequeath me when he returned from his own journeys into Europe. So once again, we have memories of when we used to go out and do stuff. And next we have a lovely little pride flag that also contains marketing, because that's what we all need more of. But it was handed to me during the Pride Parade, and so lovingly waving it while people cheered on at me is a fun little memory. even if I wish it didn't have a bunch of brand names on it. When I went to a special event where they took these old metro cars and they refitted them and they put like cushions and seats and stuff inside of them and little shops, and oh, it's just neat. And it is sitting in the container which once held a succulent that me and my old friend slash old roommate unfortunately let die. But I liked the memory and I liked the container, and so I still have it, even though it's now plantless. You can see the books that are on my bookshelf. Unfortunately, most of my books are still in Texas, so most of these books are related to what I'm doing my thesis on, except for the Hank Green book. Next we have the beautiful flag of Montreal that represents all of the different people that came together to build and create Montreal. And this was also given to me by a friend. And you'll notice a running theme here that generally things are either free, given to me by a friend. Here's a tip, future subscribers. If I ever get big enough to have people who care enough about me to want to send me things, if you want to be in my videos, just send me something, and I'll feel too bad about getting stuff for free to not put it in my video, and then you'll be in my video. We have another Art Nouveau piece. This one is smaller and sadly not laminated, but I did get this one in Montreal, whereas this one is from France. So I don't know, maybe the French are just more bougie about their posters, even though I'm pretty sure I spent less money on this one than this one. But you know what? I'm not gonna argue too much with it. I just liked the idea of having two Art Nouveau pieces from two I was gonna say Franco countries, but Quebec is not a country, even though it wants to be. So two Franco regions who are celebrating French art. We have this lovely little Canada flag patch that has been tainted by the homosexual agenda. And then we have this beautiful little pencil bag that has the correct pronunciation of the big city in Ontario. For you see, if you were an American like me, you might have thought that such a word was said as Toronto. But in fact, that is a lie. It is in fact Toronto. Yes, you have to say it that nasally, or the locals will be completely offended. It must be Toronto. There is also proof that I am an ally. I actually had to take like a couple-hour class to get that. And we talked all about like the correct way to refer to people and not to dead name people and stuff like that. So if you're a student at Texas State after the end times and they're still offering ally workshop classes, I highly recommend signing up for them. And thus sadly ends our tour of curiosities. I know that you're quenching for more, and if you are, I hope that instead of a blood sacrifice, you will appease the algorithm gods with a like, a comment, and a subscribe. And if you don't, I will be very disappointed. Not in everyone. Not everyone has my disappointment. But you specifically, Jerry. I know that you specifically, Jerry, have not liked, commented, and subscribed. And I am very disappointed.